Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my eyeshadow palette collection. I don't actually have a lot compared to like all these, you know, like beauty gurus, obviously, because that's their job. But I do have quite a few and thought it would be nice to share them with you. I do have two drawers filled of eyeshadow palettes. They're not like the Alex drawers, IKEA or anything. They're just like these plastic set of drawers that I have with all my makeup collection in them. But I'll start off with the first drawer. I have just recently had like a massive clear out, so some of my eyeshadow palettes I did get, actually I got rid of a couple eyeshadow palettes. But this is obviously what I have now. So I have two of the Revolution Life on the Dance Floor palettes. I have the VIP one, which is more of your everyday sort of shades. I do use this quite a lot, especially when I just want a neutral, not so, you know, in your face sort of look. And then I have the rose gold one, which is Guest List. Oh, that's gone. And this is definitely more of your warm tones, oranges, sort of pinks. I've only actually used this once. I saw it and I was like, yes, warm tones. And I've only actually worn it once, so yeah. But it is a really nice palette. I love the Revolution eyeshadow palettes. They're very pigmented, very good, and so cheap as well. I think they're about £10 each, so super affordable. Another Revolution palette I have is this Neutrals 2 palette. Again, another warm tones palette, but these were only, why am I covering the lid? But this was only £4, so super affordable, and this palette is actually so good. I did test it out in my like full face of like first impressions video, and I have used it a couple of times since, and this is a super pretty palette, especially for the price. It's so good. A couple of other like Revolution palettes I have is I have the Soph palette, and I also, still in the packaging, have the Extra Spice palette. I'll show you what this one looks like. The first one looks like this. I have used this a bunch of times and it is so, it's just so good. Very happy with this palette, and I believe that this was £10 also, which again, so affordable. And her Extra Spice palette, which literally launched like a few weeks ago. This is the palette. Oh, can you see that? The packaging is so much better, I feel. A lot of people prefer an old palette, but I actually prefer this one. The shades are lovely, and the shade names are on the palette, which is why I hate them sheet things. But this was also £10 as well. Super affordable. I have a couple of the Revolution Pro stuff. I have the Revolution Pro eyeshadow palette in Trends Mischief Mattes, which is super colourful, super pretty, and again the shade names are on the palette, so they definitely listen to their customers and got us what we want basically. But I've used this once in my Instagram choosing my makeup video. I haven't had a chance to play with the other shades, but they are definitely beautiful and I do need to play with that more. And these are not like eyeshadows, but they are, but these are the glitter pans, which obviously you would have seen in my Revolution Pro haul, which by the way has like over 400 views, which is literally insane. I was like, what? How has over 400 people seen that video? It's crazy. But these are super pretty. They've just come out with loose glitters like pigments and pastes, which look absolutely stunning, but I do not use these enough for me to splurge on more glitter. So as soon as I start using these, I'll start using some more. Sorry, from Revolution, I do have their 1 million palette. This is limited edition. You can no longer buy it. But these are what the shades looks like for people who don't have it. Haven't actually used this because I don't want to use it on my channel because obviously it's limited edition. There'd be no point at showing this off because not everyone has it and you cannot buy it anymore. and the pans look super pretty with all the 1 millions on them, so I don't want to touch them, but I haven't used this yet. And obviously if I was to use it, I would use it off of camera. I wouldn't show it on camera because, you know, the people that have it, it'd be fine, but not everyone has it. So, and if you liked it, it would be very naughty of me to show it. So Freedom are getting discontinued, but this is their Pro 12 Audacious, that's what it says, Audacious 3 palette. Just a neutrals palette, and I don't obviously have many of them, as you can see, so this is just nice to have in the collection. Won't be using this on camera because I'm not actually sure if you can still buy this, but it's a super cheap palette. Haven't actually used it, but I will use it. And then I have the I Heart Revolution Choc Mint palette, which I did do a first impressions and video on my channel, so you can go back and watch that if you're interested in seeing what this is like. It's very good for travelling, obviously, and that pop of green in there just obviously makes it the Choc Mint palette. And then my other drugstore palettes, I have this Sleek Makeup, the Rockstars collection Diamond in the Diamonds in the Rough palette, which my boyfriend got me for Christmas a couple of years ago. It just has some pretty shimmer shades in there, which are super nice. Yeah, very nice. And I also have the PS Nudes Matte Eyeshadow Palette by Primark. I've done a blog post on this, I think. Yeah, I have. I've done a blog post on this. I'll leave my blog linked down below, and if you just search it in the search bar, it will come up. But yeah, this is a very nice palette. Not sure why it's called a matte eyeshadow palette, because this pan is actually shimmer. But it's actually very pigmented. It's very powdery. Did I show you it? It's very powdery, but this is £4. Why would you not pick it up for £4? Stunning. And now I am going to move on to my high-end palettes. I don't have a lot, I just have a few, just because obviously I can't afford to splurge on high-end makeup a lot, but I'll show you the ones I do have. I'll quickly show you this one because it's limited edition and you can't no longer buy it, but this is the Kylie I Want It All birthday palette. Got to be careful because this highlight is actually broken, but I don't know how to show you it. Can you see it like that? But I haven't used this. I've used it once and that was it, and I spent £50 on this because I actually bought it off of someone. I know not a lot of people do that, but she'd literally never used it. It's just that the highlight had broken. But I've used this once or twice. I'm just too scared to touch it, to be honest. It's too pretty. It was super expensive, so I just keep it locked away in my drawer. So well done, Alex, well done. Another one I have is the Zoeva matte eyeshadow palette. This is not like super expensive. I think this is around 15, or was it £18? I think it might be £18. But it's super nice. I've used this once. I think I've not used my eyeshadow palettes enough, but the colours are super pigmented. They blend really nicely, and I like. This is probably the most like warm toned wearable palette that I ever have, and I got it for Christmas, so it was a really nice gift from my boyfriend's parents. So, and then I have the classic Modern Renaissance palette. This was the first high-end eyeshadow palette I ever bought. I've used this so many times. This is my go-to eyeshadow palette when I go on a night out. I've used this so many times. I'm surprised I haven't hit pan on any of the shades yet. But this is literally like one of the best eyeshadow palettes I've ever tried in my life. I did want the Soft Glam one, but I don't use eyeshadow enough to splurge again on that, and that was £42, so This is the most expensive eyeshadow palette I have in my collection, but I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. Lovely warm tones in there. Let me know in the comments if you have this as well, because I swear at one point literally everyone had it. Another high-end one, another high-end eyeshadow palette is the Naked Heat palette. My old work friends actually got me this for my birthday. I think it was last year, or yeah, last year. Oh, I just dropped the pen brush. These are what the shades look like. This was probably the first the first Urban Decay like eyeshadow palette that I actually really liked. All the others are like just like not my cup of tea. They're like smoky and like really pink. But this, when they brought this out, I was like, I absolutely need this in my life. And obviously this is very expensive. It was £39.50, but again, I've used this a bunch of times and the colours are super pigmented. The shimmers are stunning. This is great. I love this. This definitely comes second to my Modern Renaissance palette. And this is one of the newest eyeshadow palettes I actually have. My boyfriend kindly bought this for me. I know I get treated quite a lot from him, but this is actually the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes eyeshadow palette. I haven't used this yet, but I am planning to do a video on this. The packaging is beautiful. The shades look absolutely stunning and it smells like peaches. It's amazing. Yeah, it looks literally super pretty. I love the Too Faced palettes, and they say that these are velvet matte eyeshadows. Very excited to try this, so just keep eyes peeled for a testing video, because I definitely will be doing that very soon. And the last eyeshadow palette I have in my collection, and what created this look, as you would have seen in my previous video, I very recently treated myself to the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This cost £37, but of course you get so many shades for your money, and the quality of these eyeshadows are literally out of this world. They are beautiful. I obviously use this shimmer down here to put in my crease, and I use a combination of the matte shades as well, but no, this is literally stunning. Very happy I have this, and keep your eyes out for more eyeshadow looks with this palette. Hope it didn't break anything. So those are all the eyeshadow palettes I have in my collection. Definitely have too much for someone that doesn't actually wear eyeshadow palette, who doesn't wear eyeshadow enough. I don't wear it day to day because obviously I just go to work. I don't really care what I look like at work, but I will wear eyeshadow on the weekends, and especially when I go like out, I'll wear eyeshadow. But yeah, I do have quite a few eyeshadow palettes, more drugstore than high end, because obviously a lot cheaper. I hope I told you how much every eyeshadow palette is. I don't know if I actually did. Not everyone I can actually remember what they will cost in any way. But I hope you enjoyed this video. As I've mentioned before in my highlight collection, I do blog posts on my makeup collection, but any big parts of my art collection, I do videos on them, because it would just take up so much writing time. I'd rather sit here and share them with you. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you do have any of these eyeshadow palettes, leave a comment down below and let me know. Let me know what your favourite eyeshadow palette is. I definitely have a couple of favourites. The Modern Renaissance, the Sauve palettes, the Jaclyn Hill, literally only used it once. No, it's one of my favourites. The Naked Heat, they're probably my most favourite eyeshadow palettes. But yeah, leave me a comment below. I love to chat to you guys. And until my next video, bye.